welcome to Saturday morning. It is 8:57. I have just about half of this matcha left for like my digestion system. So that is the real reason I'm getting matcha, but it is good also. I'm about to go on a little walk, and then at 10 o'clock, I'm streaming with Cody. I'm writing a adult fantasy romantasy. I'm writing romantasy, and I'm about 45,000 words in, I think. But I think they do like a kind of a crazy long sprints and stuff, so we should be able to get quite a bit done there. My goal roughly is to finish this draft in October, like by October 31st. And as of today, it's October 11th, and I'm like a decent way into Act 2, Part 2. Like I would say I'm about half, maybe a little more. It's hard to tell because I don't know exactly how the scenes beat out. Except I do, but I don't, you know? Like I know what scenes, but I don't know how many chapters they are. As of now, I have 28 days. And I feel like that should be enough time to get to the end, but it's sort of like a rough calculation because I don't know how many words it's gonna end up being. I don't know how many chapters it's gonna end up being. Right now I'm at chapter 20, and each chapter has a average of about 2,000 words. Well, that doesn't make sense. 2,100 words then, because if I'm at 45,000, but my estimate is that this book's first draft will end somewhere around like 80,000. But I honestly think 70 though, because I'm already in Act 2, Part 2, and like well into Act 2, Part 2. Like I would say I'm almost 3/4 of the way done with the book, and I'm only at 45,000 words. So I think it is gonna be shorter, but there is it feels like a back heavy book. I think if I were to do around a chapter a day, I would be able for sure to hit it. That hasn't really been happening, to be honest, but I've also been having like a busier time at work. Like I had all of the busy work weekends, but now that that is sort of done, and I should have free weekends, like I don't think I'm really doing anything. Like there should be plenty of time, like I can just prioritize this now. But anyway, the way I'm kind of going about drafting, if you're new, is we're doing kind of a rough first draft of the chapter, and then I'm going back and editing through and fleshing out, usually adding about 200 to 300 words with that pass. And that's what I'm starting on this morning. Yesterday I wrote like an 1,800 word scene that will probably end up being like a 2,200 word scene. And that's what I'll be starting with Cody with. It's with Cody and Meredith and CK, so that'll be fun. If I want to go on a walk though and still have time to prep for the stream, I do need to go now. So I think I'm gonna do that. I don't know, I'd for sure like to get to Act 3 by like this week. I was gonna say like by this weekend, but girl, I don't think I can do that in 2 days. But I think like by next weekend, I would like to be in Act 3, because then I would have 2 weeks to do Act 3. I've been in Act 2, Part 2 for about 3 weeks, but I was also sick for one of those weeks, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I do think it should, like if I had a full 2 weeks to do Act 3, I think I could do it, especially because Act 3s go quickly, but now I'm just gibbing and gabbing. Gibbing and gabbing? Am I a 1900s grandmother? Okay. We gotta go. Let's go.
If you could see your sadness wrapped around a frame, would you see your...
Hi. Okay, a little post-stream debrief. That went really well. It was so fun to stream again. I haven't done that in a while. I know like at one point I was like, I'm gonna be back to streaming every I do love being on other people's channels, and I maybe will try to do like a twice a month kind of thing, but we'll see how that goes. This is the time of year where a lot of people start streaming, so maybe I'll just make an appearance on people's channels. There was a long time when streaming writing sprints really was helpful for me, and then it started to become unhelpful, and not because of the people attending the stream or anything. I just needed to change up my rhythm. I don't know, but it was nice to kind of do that again. I did edit through the full scene. It ended around 2,100 words. I don't know, I feel like it ends on a nice ending. Well, not a nice ending, but like kind of a little hoo-ha punch ending. But I feel like I'm only ending it there because I wrote like a punchy line. And then I was like, that would be a great ending to the chapter. But I think I actually need maybe a few more paragraphs. I can't decide yet, but I think that's something I could decide later. Like I don't think I'm gonna add them right now. But it did take me the full 40 minute and 35 minute to edit through. It was just a little, the beginning was really clunky and honestly mostly was rewritten. Didn't start the next chapter, which I had kind of thought I maybe would, but I am feeling very like I want to write more. So I think what I'm gonna do is eat and then do another like however long sprint. I do wanna go to the pool today, however, so lap swim until 6. So I could just kind of write however long I want to and then go to the pool and then do an evening session. I keep getting into flow, and so I just kind of want to see if I can keep writing today. I definitely feel like I for sure have a couple more sprints in me, for sure. Let's eat some lunch.
Silk lining, delicate paper, tangerine rind. Tulip petals on the dresser all come to mind. Soft blonde pink brushing shoulders, page 55. You trace letters over the pictures of the climbing vine. I'm in a field of road making. I can see a moonflower awaken somewhere way past taken. Somewhere way past taken. Seashells, voices rising, silver wind chimes. Red clay pots lined up in a row all come to mind.
Hi. Okay, we're gonna go on a little walk outside because it's finally cold enough for me to wear my little hand warmers and my little ensemble. Also, I need to vocal train. It sounds like I'm gonna sing. No, I need to voice train. That's the word I was looking for. So oh my gosh. I am about moments away from the end of this chapter, and then I need to go back and edit through it and finish it off with a little bow. But I feel like I've been watching a lot of vlogs recently, which is good. That is on my list of like content I like to watch in the fall. But I haven't been listening to an audiobook in like a week, and I can feel it. Like I need to listen to something with like the right voice. My voice was good on the last chapter. This chapter, I just feel like I'm losing the voice a little bit, and listening to specifically the Veronica Speedwell series. Not that my book is the same voice as that, because that's very like Victorian England, and this is not as formal as Victorian England, but it just helps me remember that like how I can start sentences and like how we can embellish. I don't know. There's something about it. When I get that audiobook narrator's voice in my head, I'm like, okay, I can write better. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna go on like a short walk, like 15, 20 minutes, because it's noon. I'm gonna be done writing around 4, and 3 tends to not be the best time for me to write. So I wanna be able to I wanna for sure finish this chapter and then maybe start another one. How I did this morning is I did like a 12-minute sprint. And what I've been doing is I've been setting a 12-minute sprint, and then after it's over, I just keep on going and allow myself to just keep writing until I don't want to anymore. And this one, I almost got to the end of the chapter, but I realized I had to they had this whole conversation, and then I realized he had to say goodbye to someone. And I wanted the saying goodbye to be like very sweet And I was feeling like I was at the end of my sentence rope, like I had nothing left. So, yeah, I'm gonna go on a quick walk and then we'll hit it more. So let's go. Welcome to Tuesday. It's like 7:30, 7:20, not even 7:30 yet, which you might think it's midnight because it's pitch black outside, which is just the way that the earth works, apparently. You'd think after 24 years I would start to grasp that and accept it, but I have not. Anyway, I have been sitting at my computer since probably 6:45, which is not really that long, I guess. No, it was more like 6:30. I've had like a kind of a busy, crappy day. Just like more stressful than I was expecting and just like bleh. I did write this morning. I had a pretty good session and I would like to finish this chapter today. And I have time. Like I don't go to bed until 10. I'm not going to the pool today. And I've had a very active day. I need to remember that. I went on like 4 walks today. And was volunteering for like 3 hours and it was very active, so I don't need to go. But I would really like to write, but I feel like I was sitting at my desk for like over an hour. I'm trying not to beat myself up because I was like watching a show. Like I was just like watching TV essentially. I do this thing where I see a clip on TikTok of something and I'm like, ooh, I know basically what happens in this show, but I've never actually seen it. But this one plot line looks interesting. So then I like go to the episodes of that plot line and kind of watch it through. And there was like a plot line in Private Practice, that like Grey's Anatomy spinoff show. I don't know. And I like know the gist of what happens and those kind of shows, and I was like, I just want to watch these episodes, and it turned out to be like 5 episodes, and I've kind of just like throughout the day been watching random clips from it. I don't know. This is my life. And then I went on I did go on a walk, but then I've just been kind of like watching clips from movies on YouTube, which is like a fine thing to do. Like there's no rules that say that that's bad. I would argue it's better than scrolling even. I just have I have like 2 emails that I need to send that I don't want to send. That's kind of irrelevant from this conversation, to be honest. But yeah, I've just been kind of dinking around and not writing. Essentially what I've been doing on my computer is not writing. And then I went and I was like, okay, now I'm going to start writing. But I've been sitting at the same computer for like 45 minutes, over an hour. I don't know. I just feel like it was a long time. Being sort of like unproductive or whatever. And so I kind of want to take a moment to like reset for the evening. And I would go on a walk, but it is pitch black. And I already went on 4 walks today. I don't know what's going on with the walks. But I was thinking about like taking a bath and then like having that be a little reset for the night. Really, I don't need a reset. Really, I could just walk into my room and start typing and start writing a book. But I get into this bad habit sometimes where once it's dark out, I'm like, well, the night is gone. Like there's no more time to do anything. But I'm like, no, it's like 7:20. If I took a 20-minute bath, it would be 7:40. And then I would still have like theoretically 2 hours to write. My only goal for tonight is I would like to get to the end of the chapter. I'm about 1,800 words in. And I know I only have one more little section. Like this chapter is very much broken into like, this happens at the beginning, this happens in the middle, this happens at the end, and it's just the stuff that happens at the end, but it's kind of extensive. I really hope I wrote notes for myself because this morning I was really clear about what was going to happen next, and now I like don't quite remember, but I think I wrote notes about it potentially. I'm hoping I wrote a note, or else I'll have to just remember. So this is, I bet the reason I decided to pick up a camera to talk about this is because I want to see like, does this actually work? Because I feel like I get in my head of like, I'll just take a little like, I'll just like do a quick little reset and then I'll write and be productive. But I think it is like in a small part a procrastination of the writing. And so I'm curious to see like, does doing this little bath like really get me in the right mindset, or does it just aid in the productivity? Is it just another thing to do that's not writing, you know? So that's kind of why I'm filming, just to see how I feel about that. I need to like look in a mirror before I start filming, but anyway. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because right now my mind is kind of like, I'm kind of in this funk of like, I haven't been writing, which is fine. Like I am fine that it's only 7:30. Like there was nobody said I needed to write, you know? So but I feel that like, bleh. So I want to see if I can kind of snap out of it. It's also day 2 of my period. So like, I don't know why I'm trying to be productive at all, because truly it's been a journey of a day. So let's see if it works, or if I just get distracted by something else. Because that's the thing. I'm like opening myself up to get distracted by so many other things that aren't writing. But I am excited about this scene. I just need to like think about the chapter in my head and be like, ooh, I'm excited about the chapter, you know? I really am excited for like 2 chapters from now, because I just am. Oh. Yeah. It's 9:10. I think I started around 8. And I just finished. I wrote about 1,400 words in about an hour. I didn't do sprints. I just kind of descended into the void. I listened to sorry, the candle is really having a crisis. I listened to The Four Seasons by Vivaldi, and I listened to it all the way through, and then I did the first 2 songs again, which is about 45 minutes. The Four Seasons is about 45 minutes. Vivaldi unlocked something in me. I don't know what it is. I am really loving descending into the void like this. Like, no sprints, just chaos. I am happy with the progress I made. I did get to the end of the chapter. It is 3,100 words, which I feel like that's actually a pretty normal sized chapter for a fantasy novel, but most of my chapters have been like capping around 2,800. I don't think I have one that is, let me check really quick if I have one that's in the 3,000s. I have one that's 2,900. Another 2,900 one. Yeah, but this is the first one that's actually gotten to 3,000, and it will be longer, I think, because this is just like the first scene of this. It's so interesting. I feel like I've been finding there's 2 types of chapters. There's chapters that are shorter usually and more reflective that I end up writing like and really taking my time. And there's scenes where nothing really happens, or like one thing is happening. Like it's one conversation or one moment or one decision. And I think that's usually like 1 every 3 or 4 chapters is like that, where I do go back and make edits, but it's minimal edits. Like that paragraph that I read in a blog, probably last week, where it was just like this beautiful reflective moment and Cecil making this beautiful decision. That I wrote like really slowly and intentionally. But then there's chapters like this that are usually longer, that are usually like multiple things are happening. Like in this scene, we start in a dungeon, I think. Yeah. They like get brought up from the dungeon. They have this whole little situation in the dining hall, and then they're brought out to another location. And there's stuff that happens at each of those locations, and there's just a lot of ground to cover. And so it's there's not a lot of time for sitting around and thinking, you know? And so this was one of those chapters, and in these kind of chapters where there's a lot happening, the first pass I do is a lot messier, so the sentences are usually less pretty, and I'm not so focused on that. I'm just focused on, like, getting us bare bones to the end, the most basic dialogue, the most basic, like, here's what physically happens, and then sometimes I'll do a little foray into a dramatic paragraph. Like, it's funny, because there were definitely moments in that 40 minutes, for almost an hour, it was definitely an hour, where I'm like, oh, I really loved that paragraph. But there's also many paragraphs in here where it's like kind of mid, but it does the job. So then what I'll do tomorrow morning is I will edit through, and it will probably be a more intense edit through than maybe a more slow and reflective chapter would be. But I have gotten to the end of the chapter. I like where it ends. It's kind of unhinged. Okay, I don't know. Do you ever read those romance fantasy books where the character does something, and as you're reading it, you're like, this feels strange for the character to do, but not strange in a way where it's out of character, but more it's strange in a way where it's like, wait a minute, I didn't know. Like, there's something about this character that I don't know. Like, why are they reacting in this way? Like, the reaction seems out of proportion for what this character has been reacting to. And what happens at the end of this chapter is she has kind of an extreme reaction to something that, like, usually wouldn't, like, a lot of things have happened for Dahlia in this book, and she has not really had, like, a reaction like this to any of those things. And so I want the reader to be thinking, like, why is she having such an extreme reaction to this thing that, in comparison to all the other things that have happened, like, really isn't that severe of a thing? I mean, it is, but, like, and I want it to be, because we're close to the end, and there's a twist, and I want, it's a piece of foreshadowing, this, like, reaction that she has, and so, I don't know, I'm just kind of balancing, like, I want it to feel, I don't want the reader to read it and be like, oh, that's out of character for her. I want them to read it and be like, what's that about? You know, that's how I want it to feel, and I think it does, or it will, once I kind of, like, bouge up the chapter a little bit. But it is sitting at 3,100 words. It'll probably end up around 33 or 4. Yowza. And I think we're going to get a lot of long chapters like this one, because Cecil's next chapter, he's got a lot of work to do. It's very similar to this Dahlia chapter, where we're in a lot of locations and we're getting things done in those locations. Like, we're going to this place and doing this thing, and then we're having a conversation with these people, and this conversation is accomplishing this thing, and then we're finding out this, like, ooh, thing at the end, you know, vibes. But yeah, we are, I just need to write, I need to make Dahlia's next chapter in Scrivener, and then, remind myself that I need to start it a certain way. Because now we'll go to Cecil, but I still need to edit this chapter. But anyway, yeah, I'm feeling very good about this chapter. Did I start this chapter today? Doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter at all. But I will say I think that was successful. I think the thing that was really made it successful is my phone is in a different room charging. And I was intentional. I was like, okay, this is the time to write. And so I probably could have done it without the bath, to be honest, but I do think having... And also in the bath, I did not have my phone in the room then either. I was, like, reading. And I was reading, what's that book series called? It's by Mary Pearson, The Kiss of Deception. And I realized The Kiss of Deception is actually a pretty good comp for this book, because it's in the right time, sort of time period-ish. Like, the technology is similar. And then also, like, she's a princess in that book. And then, like, the romance is kind of similar, and the types of conflict that are happening are kind of similar too. And I really love that series, like the balance of the drama and the tension and the politics, but it's also like at its core, I don't know if it's technically a romantasy, but like the romance is so integral and huge in it. I really do love Mary Pearson. And so I was reading that actually and stuff. And I mean, I did after that like scroll for like 5 minutes on my phone, but not to the extent. I feel like there's casually scrolling on your phone, and then there's like I've descended into the depths of my phone, and I did not get to that point. Anyway, word count for the whole book check, 49,000. That's actually crazy. I've written a lot today. 49,339 because I think yesterday I was at 46,000. But we're almost at 50K. That means tomorrow I'm going to hit 50K. Heck to the yeah. Woot woot. Anyway, this might be its own, I don't know what is going on with the vlogging. I'm kind of behind on like editing. I have a bunch of vlog clips, but I don't know how we're organizing them together. But I would say my little evening was a success, I fear. And tomorrow I'll be editing through all of this. So I'm super excited for that. But I'm actually very happy because it was a nice end to kind of a like tumultuous, not even that tumultuous, it was just kind of a crappy day. Like I just like didn't really feel very good today. And to end it